309 is this weekend, and for this card, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to cut to the chase. I think this shit's going to be a nightmare. When looking at the card, we can obviously see that it's a terrible card. There's only two important fights in this whole thing, and those two important fights, I believe, are going to go in terrible ways to make the MMA fan be in suicide watch by the end of the night. This shit's just a straight up make-a-wish event for John Jones. It's like we're all pitying him and congratulating him for absolutely nothing. And then in the co-main event where you have Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira, I see a lot of people going into that fight with their rose-tinted glasses, just nothing's going to go wrong. And I think this year, bro, the formula has just been whoever you dislike is going to win the fight. And I know that's not my logic for who I think is going to win, but I do think Michael Chandler does have an amazing chance to win this fight. So I'm just going to be telling you why, my reasons for this card being a nightmare, shit like that. Let's hop right into it. So, just hopping in with this John Jones Make-A-Wish legacy fight. Did you guys know that Stipe Miocic is on OnlyFans? I know it's probably a normal fighter thing. It's not anything sexual, but that shit hella threw me off when I saw OnlyFans logo next to the zesty-ass pose of Stipe, bro. Maybe John Jones and Stipe could collab after the fight. Who knows? You know, maybe give him a little more bruises. Anyways, I do think this John Jones fight is just straight make-a-wish shit, and I do think John Jones, I know a lot of people were saying this before the Cyril Gane fight, but I do think John Jones is detoxing from steroids, and he is pretty much falling apart. After seeing that Muay Thai video, I know that's a long time ago, you can kind of see the damage, the PEDs and all the shit he's done to his body has affected him over the years, and I do think he's still a okay athlete probably, but the older he gets and the more years we have to wait to watch John Jones again, the less confident I am in him being the same athletic specimen that he was at light heavyweight. A lot of people are going into this fight expecting these like spinny kicks, these like clinch moves that the old John Jones which would used to pull off, but I do think we're going to see a completely different John Jones on the feet if we even get there. I do think Stipe is an absolute stepping stone. I just think he's 42 at this point, and the only reason people are picking John Jones is because Stipe Miocic is older and even more unqualified. So, John Jones, I just want to address this right now. He is not that good of a fighter. I think the Tom Aspinall fight wouldn't even be close. I think that the only chance he has is in the grappling department, and I do think Tom Aspinall would be superior in there just from genetics, him treating his body right, him being younger. And yeah, I just think John Jones at this age, I don't think he's going to be able to go too many rounds. I think if it isn't an early finish, I think he's honestly in trouble. I think Stipe Miocic has really underrated gas tank. He's really smart. I think his striking, Stipe Miocic, is going to completely outclass whatever John Jones has. I know people are expecting these like crazy elbows, these crazy spinning kicks I used to bust out in 2012, but gotta be honest, this is 12 years later. John Jones is not the same guy. John Jones is almost 40 at this point, and he's severely overweight at the heavyweight division. I know he's still in shape, but his athleticism has jumped off a cliff. He's definitely going to be a lot more injury prone. I do think that Stipe Miocic will find success on the feet. It's just, I do think John Jones will eventually be able to take Stipe down and just absolutely like weight max him, just straight up just lay on him, prey on him type of spiel. And I do think he'll eventually be able to find the submission. John Jones is a crazy grappler. You don't need me to tell you anything about John Jones that you don't already know, because this guy has aura maxed himself so much that you're manipulated into thinking he's the same guy. But yeah, I just think his obesity will win him this fight. He'll eventually find the choke, but Stipe Miocic, I think people are underrating him. I definitely don't blame him for taking this fight, but I just think his boxing is way better than John Jones. I know like a lot of people are going to be like, what? His striking's insane. John Jones, his elbows and shit like that. But think about it. John Jones was never known for his crisp boxing. He was always known for his crazy athleticism, his crazy like dynamic like strikes. But if we're going to keep it like a technical like old man just make-a-wish like stand-up fest, I think that Stipe Miocic will definitely find success there. But I think the takedown is eventually coming, and when that takedown happens, I think it's going to be terrible. We're going to see John Jones probably waver a storm in the first two rounds where it's going to be a really hard, close fought where he's like fighting everything for the takedowns and you'll eventually get it. I do think he'll eventually find the choke or get the finish, and then he's gonna act like he fucking did it. He's the champion. There's nothing else he needs to prove, and he's gonna walk out in the sunset. This is why like this matchup confuses me. Who's gonna be out in the audience? Like MMA fans? Like, do MMA fans really are they like buying into this John Jones hype where it's like, oh, he's retiring, but he still had a great legacy and stuff. I'm sorry, he completely destroys his legacy with the entire new fan base with this. So I don't know who this fight is made for. I think it's just to terrorize everyone who hates John Jones, and yeah, that's my take on this fight. You know who I'm picking? It's John Jones, and yeah. Now on to the more controversial one. Now Charles Oliveira, you know, love the guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm the first person to tell you I'm the biggest Charles fan, but a lot of people are just assuming because of the first fight that Michael Chandler is just going to get steamboated again by Oliveira by crucifix, Oliveira by nuts in his mouth, Oliveira by TED Talk. And I just think Michael Chandler's coming off of 2 years where he was able to rest, rejuvenate, get in all the NF songs. I think there was a new NF album drop that he definitely was tuning into. So he's been dealing with that. He's been rejuvenating, hyping himself back up, and he has a Conor McGregor fight right in on this. If he loses this, then Conor McGregor fight hype is completely gone. McGregor's going to toast him on Twitter. It's just going to be a terrible situation. I don't think he's able to come back and fight Conor again. I think he's going to probably go up to fight someone in welterweight if Michael Chandler loses. But think about his mentality going into this fight. This is kind of do or die for him. He's nearing the end of his career. He's fighting Charles Oliveira. This is make or break for him. And I just think that Michael Chandler, I know you've seen what Michael Chandler can do. He has amazing power. His boxing is not that good because he's so open, but because he's so explosive, he makes up for it just by being a fucking tank and being able to sprint at you. Michael Chandler, off of 2 years of a layoff. I know people go, oh, a layoff. He's off of a layoff, so that means he's going to be worse. Do you think these guys aren't, like, training, like, all throughout the year, like, working hard? Especially Michael Chandler with his fucking NF, with his TED Talks. He's going to fucking, with his you know. But, yeah, do you really think Michael Chandler's going to go into this fight and just get ran through? I think Charles Oliveira's cooked. I'm going to be honest. After that Arman Tsarukyan fight, I was rewatching it. Oliveira was getting landed consistently against against Arman Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan, I know it was predominantly on the floor, and Arman Tsarukyan was getting the takedowns, but when they were on the feet, Arman Tsarukyan kept on landing past the guard of Charles, and he had zero power because Arman Tsarukyan is not dangerous in the slightest. But a guy like Michael Chandler, if he's hitting the same shots that he's hitting on Charles Oliveira, I think he goes down. I think he puts him out cold. Also against Islam, another fight where Oliveira just got brutalized. His grappling got exposed. I do think Chandler is able to hold his own in the ground. I think that's a controversial one, but I think if you're just able to lay on the guard of Oliveira and just like hit him with shots and just like try to control the submission attempts, you're completely fine. A guy like Michael Chandler, a guy like Arman Tsarukyan, the guys who are in these top level like wrestler categories, I think they're just easily able to just lay into the guard of Oliveira while he tries to scoot his hips up so he can do whatever sort of submission attempt he wants. I think he's just able to occasionally land some shots, but the thing about Chandler, I could be saying all of this, everything I could be saying is true. When we get into the fight, he's going to completely check out and just start hearing the crowd roar and just like start swinging overhand rights consistently until he gets clipped. So I don't know. I do think if Chandler is able to keep it calm, keep it composed, I think he will because of how much is riding on this fight. I think he's able to just take him out. Oliveira, I think he's more scared to take risks. I saw in the Arman fight, he was on the back foot a lot, just trying to find his punch, and I think he's cooked. I think this is kind of the end of Charles Oliveira. We've seen him just time and time again kind of like melt out in a lot of these fights where he used to kind of be more resilient, used to fight back, knock down Chandler, used to fight back against Gaethje and stuff after getting knocked down. But I just think Oliveira is unable to do the same risks as he used to. I mean, to knock out Chandler, he had to stand in the pocket, slip a shot, and then be able to land one back. But I just don't think Oliveira is going to be the guy who's standing in the pocket with Michael Chandler anymore. I think he's just going to be on the back foot, use his normal game plan, and eventually get hit with a shot. And it's gonna look like it's gonna be terrible, dude. It's gonna make everyone feel like they're seeing a dead body. I think it's probably going to be the thing about it is, like, I think a lot of people were expecting Arman Tsarukyan to have a great chance against Charles Oliveira, but I think this fight everyone just assumes because there was a fight before this. Like, this is what I'm saying, especially with like also the Gaethje and Dustin Poirier fight. A lot of people were just not assuming that Justin Gaethje was able to get it done just because the first fight happened, and the first fight kind of dictated everything that was supposed to happen in these stylistic matchups. But I do think that Michael Chandler, with a little bit of a different game plan, a little more calmness, I think he's able to find a shot that lands. Oliveira will be put out. Everyone will be depressed. UFC 309 will be the worst event ever. And yeah, this shit, I hope it doesn't happen, bro. There's only 2 interesting fights, and I'm just going off of the same, if you notice in like a lot of these cards, you'll see that your fan favorite fighter has lost 98% of the time, and I am going to stick with that. When we see trends, you stick with it. Last year was the upset year. This year is just like trying to make us sad. And yeah, hopefully I'm wrong. Hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll see you.